my worst tendencies as a CEO, and the one that I have to pay closest attention to, is my desire to improve things continuously. Now, it's also one of my biggest strengths, but I have to manage it ruthlessly at all times. I'll explain. I like new things. It's one of the reasons that I love starting a business, and it's why I need to delegate to others once things are established and running. I spend a lot of time looking for new ideas, thinking about what we could do differently, and generally trying to find ways to go further, faster. That's usually a good thing, but if it's left unchecked, it can be massively disruptive to my business. As an example, I was reading a book recently that was talking about the opportunities that exist in emerging markets. And that got me thinking about whether we should be tapping into emerging markets more at Singular. And then in the same week, I listened to a podcast with Will Guidara, the former owner of 11 Madison Park, as a guest. And he talked about the concept of unreasonable hospitality, part of which involved Guidara and his staff breaking down every single interaction they had with a customer and looking for ways to make it more amazing. Now, I thought that was a fascinating idea and definitely something we could do too. But instead of running off and figuring out how to implement these initiatives, I sent myself an email with delivery delayed until the end of the year to revisit them. We're all told to move fast and break things, but sometimes you can go too fast, break too much, and all that's left is a mess where you used to have a good business. Now, we've been going through lots of change over the course of 2024. We've revamped our entire sales process and redone the training that goes along with that. We've upgraded our marketing and our social media presence and open offices in New York and Boston. Alongside those changes, we're launching a new service line that helps biotech companies to establish a footprint and build a presence in the US. We're developing an advisory service to provide coaching support to biotech leadership teams, creating an exclusive executive community that comes with high quality events, implementing generative AI in our approach to work, and developing education products aimed at helping new leaders to develop management and leadership skills, as well as another one that helps executives to create brilliant cultures in their biotech companies. So when I looked at all that change alongside the new ideas that I had, I decided that we had enough on our plates and that adding more would actually be detrimental rather than beneficial. I think there are two reasons that I get tempted to make changes. One, as I've explained, is coming up with or discovering new ideas. Now, new things are exciting, and at the time of conception, they seem like they must be executed immediately. But delaying them even by a few weeks can often take the shine away and will allow you to assess them on their true merits coolly and calmly. The other reason is impatience. Growing a business takes time. Launching a new product or service takes time. New sales approaches or marketing campaigns take time to gain traction. Letting things take their course, though, is counterintuitive to many CEOs because it feels passive. So we try to get involved and move things along. We tinker and we adjust, and when we don't see immediate results, we're tempted to try something different altogether. And this is a tendency that needs to be managed closely. I asked ChatGPT what ancient philosophers might say about the need to be measured in implementing change, and here's what it told me. Confucius said that it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Apparently, he'd advise leaders to implement changes gradually and to ensure that each step is understood and accepted by everyone involved. Aristotle talked about virtue being the mean between excess and deficiency, and might well suggest that drastic changes could disrupt the balance of an organization. My favorite quote was from Lao Tzu: "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." And Marcus Aurelius, worth listening to on this point not only as a philosopher but as Emperor of Rome, was famously calm, methodical and measured, and his Stoic views favoured deliberate, considered action. And then I thought, what about history's most famous business leaders? Well, unsurprisingly, they were a touch more aggressive, but the virtual versions of Ford, Jobs, Bezos, Branson, Welch and Gates all shared a common perspective. Think big, move quickly, but make sure you can execute. Otherwise, change is just a childish whim. And I suppose that's what it boils down to for me. As leaders, we must be mature enough to manage ourselves in a way that limits our negative impact on the people we lead. Yes, we should try to be 2 steps ahead, to be visionary and innovative, but we also need to balance the tendency to action that is a core strength with patience and attention to detail that allow our vision to be realized in the real world. And that doesn't mean the crazy idea you had in the sauna this morning is a bad one. It just might not be the right one for right now. So send yourself a delayed email so that you don't miss it. And if you really can't get it out of your head, create a roadmap for your company that allows you to pace change appropriately. That way, it'll stay on your radar, you know you'll get to it, but you can also stay focused on what's important today.